Hello? Is it going? Welcome to another episode of Britt Space. Hi, I'm Britt. How are you? I decided for every Britt chat, or most of them, either share a mocktail with you guys or a wine that I've tried in a wine. Those of you who are new, oh my god, are my glasses so dirty? For those of you who don't know, or those of you who are new, I do not drink alcohol, but I still love to have happy hour and I love to have a good glass of wine. One I can't pronounce. It is a Riesling and it is New Zealand and it's from Trader Joe's actually. I mean, I keep mine chilled, as you should do. Let's get into it. So I'm starting a series because I want to save you from all of the crazy dating things that I did. If you are in the same journey as I was on, I want to save you by telling you what not to do. So I decided I think I'm going to do a series of dating advice / this is what I did and I don't suggest anybody else do it. When I first thought about doing dating videos, I was kind of like, oh my god, no one's going to want to hear from you because now you are in a healthy relationship. And I just feel like sometimes people, like, the credibility isn't there because you're like, oh, well, it's easy to say because you're in a relationship. But when I tell you guys, and those of you who've been here, you know I've been through it. I really can give advice about being single and being in a toxic relationships. And now that I'm on the other side, it's even more clear to me because I really had only experienced toxic, poor, terrible relationships. But now that I'm in something more positive, I can really see where I went wrong and how some of us do go wrong. And I'm here to save you. So when you watch this video, see it more of like chatting with a friend versus like, I made it, here's, I'm better than you kind of thing. No. Here's the deal. What happened? So let's just start at the beginning. Divorced 7 years ago, and I had enough sense to know that I didn't need to date right away. I said this in my previous video. So I did wait a little bit before I decided to date, but everyone was like, get on dating apps, that's what you do. And so I was like, well, I am a busy single mom. It's not like I'm just out and about all the time. Maybe I should go the route of a dating app. So a friend and I were out having drinks and we just, as a joke, I think I told this in the last video, as a joke decided to make a dating profile for me. Literally a joke. I was like, whatever. Well, the next day I ended up getting a ton of messages and things and I was like, okay, this is actually sort of interesting. Because who doesn't love attention, you guys? And this is why I feel like you guys are gonna hate me, but when I tell you I'm not a fan of dating apps, and this is as someone who was all up on them for multiple years, was used to be like the only way I thought I could meet someone. I spent a lot of time on dating apps. I went on a lot of dates from them. So this is not coming from someone who never used it, who's just judging. But you guys, the reason why I'm not a fan of dating apps is because a lot of times it feeds a lot of guys in there who are just there for either an ego boost. They can make themselves look really good on a profile. But in real life, oh, and that goes for women too. If you're on those dating apps, please watch out because, and I know that there's a good stories too, so I'm not really trying to have it out. But okay, let me get back to what I was trying to say. I got on the apps and I met a guy on one, seemed really great, seemed really nice. My bad was I was just so new to the dating world because I'd been married for almost 7 years that I just was like so naive. I'm also a very nice person anyway. And so I was just gullible and I just sort of started dating the first person that was interested in me. And this person turned out to not be a very healthy person at all. But in usual Brit fashion, I held it out and stayed in there for like way too long. So we broke up once and then got back together. It was like a whole toxic thing. But then I got back on the apps, and I think for me what it was, and it wasn't because I wasn't healing, and I want you to hear me when I say that because I feel like so much of these healing journeys are just like, oh, well, if you are, in a bad relationship or having guys that aren't great, it's because you haven't healed all the way. And I don't know that that's necessarily true. I think that sometimes when the focus isn't complete healing and the focus is, attention or getting that, it can kind of divert your healing. But it doesn't mean that you aren't on the right track. I broke up with that guy, stayed single for a bit, but was still on the apps. I just really struggled with being alone and single. And I think for me, I went to a point of my healing where I was like, okay, I'm here, and then the next level, it was just too scary for me at the time. Truly. I just was like, I just can't handle that. some of the things that I would have needed to work through, I just was not ready to work through it, and I just wanted to kind of distract myself. And I don't think I realized that, but truly that's what it was. So I ended up getting back on the app, met this other guy who in hindsight, I'm like, girl, what were you thinking? At the time, I was just like, oh, he seems really great. He also had a kid, and you know, he seemed kind of like in the same space as I was, and so it just seemed to fit. Oh, let's just say I ignored way too many red flags with that guy, and he turned out to be completely crazy. And turned out I could do a whole video just about that. This guy like was married and like had a whole secret life that no one knew about. I ended up finding all this out because I did my own research. Let's just say I'm Sherlock Holmes. I can find anything out. It was wild, and it also was extremely damaging, and it's just, I can't take it back. But if I can just encourage you guys, please don't allow moments of loneliness or feeling like you owe it to your kids to like get remarried or to create a home for them. I think subconsciously I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I don't think at the time I wanted to admit that that's what it was, but I think truly it was. I just felt like, you know, I've been single this long, and like, you know, I really want to find someone, and I was really forcing things. I'm just here to tell you, don't do it, okay? That little uncomfortable feeling you get in your heart where you're like, ugh. And you know that feeling you get when you're hanging out with someone and you know that they're just like either full of crap or just really not right for you, but you're like, well, I just want someone. This is where I'm gonna say, don't settle. And I know that that sounds so cliche, and I promise I'm not saying it from this point of view of like, oh, I'm you know, in a content place. What I eventually realized, you guys, with all of these dating apps and back and forth and dealing with toxic guys and feeling like it was me and being like, wow, I just always attract really bad guys. I realized when I just gave up and didn't give a crap. I know that's so cliche, but it truly was. It was after 2020, I had been in and out of therapy, but then after COVID, you know, I didn't go because everything was shut down, and then I had to find a new therapist. Well, I finally decided, I was like, I'm getting a therapist. I'm gonna focus on my mental health. And I remember I stood in my bathroom and I cried because I was like, I knew that I needed to stop distracting myself with dating and just like this dumb stuff that I was just like distracting myself with, and I knew that I had to make that choice, and I cried because I was like, this sucks. This is gonna suck. Like, truly, when you decide to heal, it's not like the fluff and the fun and the like, no, you know, bubble baths. Like, yes, it is self-love and self-healing is like fun sometimes, but a lot of times it's not. And so I remember I knew that I was gonna do this, and I was not gonna date. I decided, I was like, I'm done. I'm not even gonna casually date. I was like, I'm only gonna focus on me. So I'm not even gonna casually go on dates. I'm not even gonna just like talk. No distraction. Now that was my choice. I'm not necessarily saying you have to do that in order to heal, but for me, I was like, enough is enough. And the weird thing about it, you guys, was, I mean, the first couple weeks, month, it was weird. It was like, oh, this is kind of boring. But then after a while, it was really fun and easy. Like, I got really used to not having any drama, not having any like weird things, or not having any like stuff I had to like navigate, and it just got really nice and easy, and I was like, this is great. It was like, I think I'm just gonna be single, and I don't want to give away how I met my current boyfriend because we're gonna share that, but like, let's just say I was definitely not in any space of trying to look for a man, wanting a relationship. I was really in my own world. I was in my own world, so much so that I didn't feel like I was missing out. And I think that's where you realize when you get to that point, it's not even like you gave up on love, or you're like, I wasn't even like defeated. It was more of like, I am okay. Because at the end of the day, you have to be okay with you. Even if you're in a relationship, even if you're in a beautiful relationship, because if not, you will always live in scarcity. Even when you end up in a beautiful, healthy relationship, if you do not heal this inside, you will be jealous, you will be worried, you will hold on to that person like nothing, because you will really believe that they are the key to your happiness. And if they are gone, you can't be happy. And that's why in this series, I'm gonna preach it to everybody and to myself that you have to learn to be okay on your own before you can be in a healthy relationship. And I can say that truly because I did it, and I'm still doing it. I'm still doing that. Being in a great relationship does not solve everything. It It really solves very little, actually. It's great, but it doesn't solve anything if you don't do that work on your own. I can see it so clearly now, and I just want to share it because I don't want to hold on to this information. I feel like it's valuable, and it's not like it's anything you haven't heard. But when I tell you I lived it, and I lived the long nights of crying and betrayal and feeling all these things and wondering if it was me, wondering if I was broken, and looking around and being like, wow, why does everyone else seem to have a really positive love life, really positive marriages and relationships, and I just can't seem to get it? And I'm just here to tell you, it's not all you. It's not all you. And when you unpack it, it makes sense. There's things along the way that will make sense. I'm a big proponent for therapy. I am not a therapist, but I'm a big proponent for therapy, and I will just tell you, you will be surprised when you go to therapy what is unpacked. You might go for one thing and end up talking about something completely different. What are the takeaways? The takeaways are, be very cautious if you are online dating. If you are on dating apps, be so cautious and don't make it your everything, okay? If you're on there, have fun. If your goal is to have fun, I say dating apps are for you. If you are truly trying to find a very serious relationship, the love of your life, I personally wouldn't spend all my time on dating apps. I'm not saying don't be on them at all, but I'm just saying I wouldn't put all my eggs in that basket. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, how does one meet someone then? If you don't suggest dating apps, what do you suggest? I suggest going out and doing things that you like to do that are fun. And I know that sounds so vague, but I'm telling you it works, because I'm an introvert. And no, I do not think you need to be out every single night. You really don't. You only need one night. And I know that because it personally happened to me. You do not need to be out every night. You do not need to be out every weekend. If you want to be, cool, but you don't feel like you have to be, because you really don't. You really don't. I think that really the major thing you need to learn is the art of not giving up. I'm truly, you will attract the right kind of partner, when you are so into yourself, your life, your fun, not in a selfish way, but just truly your essence, your aura just will give off, I'm having a good time. I'm not perfect, but I'm like doing my thing. And I really know that's a vague answer, but that's all I can say. So I hope this video made a little bit of sense. I will be doing more videos like this. Please, in the comments, let me know what direction to go. Let me know what questions you want me to answer, what stories you want to hear, because there is a lot, you guys. There's actually so much I have not talked about. And I'm like, wow, maybe this is the content I should be doing. So let me know what else you want to know. Again, not coming from an expertise, but from someone who is learning after a lot of trial and error. Whew, I'm still learning, and we can learn together. So anyway, cheers. Thanks for watching another video. I will talk to you guys on the next episode. I appreciate you. I love you, and I can't wait for the next video. I just said that. Okay, bye.